Today on Rappler.
Papa, maybe you were ready to die, but you weren't ready to lose you. Although I don't understand why you had to leave so soon, I'm still very grateful to have been raised and to have been loved by you.
The second daughter of late Interior Secretary Jessie Robredo, Patricia, pays a touching tribute to her father.
Pare, ito ang tamang pambaha footwear. Karamihan sa mga kababayan nating nababaha, nakatsinelas.
Palace officials remember Secretary Robredo for his brand of chinelas leadership.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And U.S. astronaut Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon, dies at 82. Hello, I'm Chai Hofilenya, sitting in for Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Naga residents pay their last respects to Interior Secretary Jessie Robredo, a display of love and respect last seen when Cory Aquino was laid to rest. Carmela Fonbueno joins us live from Naga City.
After an overnight wake at the Naga City Hall, the body of the late Interior and Local Government Secretary Jessie Robredo was transferred here at the Basilica Minore de Nuestra Señora de Peñafrancia, or simply the Basilica, for the last day of the wake. Tomorrow, Tuesday, he will be given a state funeral. After an overnight wake at the Naga City Hall, the body of the late Interior and Local Government Secretary Jessie Robredo was transferred here in the Basilica Minore de Nuestra Señora de Peñafrancia, or simply the Basilica, for the last day of the wake. Tomorrow, Tuesday, he will be given a state funeral. It's a short distance between the Naga City Hall and the Basilica, but city officials opt to bring Robredo's funeral cortege around the city that he led as mayor for 19 years. Wearing yellow Robredo shirts, Nagueños came out of the streets to get a glimpse of the funeral convoy. Others trooped to the Basilica to pay their last respects. Nagueño Liza Compuesto now lives in Camarines Norte, but she took the bus with her 3 children to the Basilica.
5 oras po ang biyahe namin, galing kami Panganiban, para lang makita namin siya, makita yung kanyang labi, para makita yung ano niya. Kasi nalulungkot din kami, kasi alam ko na malaki din ang naitulong niya sa mga magulang ko, sa mga kapatid ko.
The Basilica was very important to the late secretary. The Lady of Peñafrancia, to whom he was deeply devoted to, is enshrined here. Robredo regularly participated in the annual Peñafrancia Festival, guarding and pushing the platform carrying the image of the Virgin Mary from the Basilica to another cathedral about 3 kilometers away. They do this barefoot under the scorching sun. Industrial painter Antonio Pontejos Jr. is a witness to Robredo's devotion to the Lady of Peñafrancia.
Mahirap din sa kanya. Nagsasama rin sa kahirapan namin mga buyadores. Traslasyon. Deboto talaga siya. Parang ganun kayo nasareno sa Quiapo, ganyan. Nang init ng elemento, siksikan ng tao, nakikipagsiksikan siya, nakikipag-orso talaga sa mga tao, ganyan. Lahat ng amoy, maaamoy niya na. Si alak, si pawis.
The Mass just ended here at the Basilica, but the public viewing continues. We now have a long line of people wanting to pay their last respect to the Secretary. These are not just Nagueños. Today we met a lot of people coming from other parts of the country. Chai?
Carmela, the outpouring of love for Secretary Robredo has been most evident this past few days. Tell us what's in store for tomorrow.
Aside from the state of honor, President Aquino will confer to Secretary Robredo the Philippine Legion of Honor Award. This is the highest
honors that the President can give without Congress approval. Also tomorrow, we will expect President Aquino to deliver his eulogy to the late Secretary.
Thank you, Carmela Fonbuena, live from Naga City. Patricia Robredo shares insights about being a daughter of the late Interior Secretary Jessie Robredo during a necrological service in Naga City. In a speech delivered mostly in Bicolano, Tricia speaks about how the late secretary loved to surprise his family and help his children with their studies. Tricia says her father was a kind and strong person because he knew how to love his people and his work.
Loves na loves talaga kami ni Papa. Pero maski sobra-sobra na, ego pa lang gad siyang space sa puso niya para padangaton man ang bawat saro sa Indo. Sinisiguro ko kamukha yan. Dai kami ma-boyfriend ni ate tapos ni Jill. Kung daisin da kasing pogi o kasing buot mo. Maybe you were ready to die, but you weren't ready to lose you. Although I don't understand why you had to leave so soon, I'm still very grateful to have been raised and to have been loved by you.
Jessie Robredo was mayor for 6 terms, serving the people of Naga City for nearly 20 years. He inherited a bankrupt city and turned it around. Naga earned international recognition as the most improved city in Asia in 1999. Natasha Gutierrez has the details.
Maria Lourdes Terbio and her son live at Mawagma Village. A former illegal settler, Terbio and her neighbors now own houses, thanks to the late Interior Secretary Jessie Robredo. Then Naga Mayor Robredo transferred them to Mawagma and gave them homes with water and electricity, including a plot of land to plant crops in. He handpicked areas unlikely to flood for relocation and made sure the city's Urban Poor Affairs Office responded quickly to their needs.
Siyempre, sarili na ang bahay. Tapos doon, squatter lang kami doon. Hindi po namin siya makakalimutan.
When he first became mayor, 20% of city dwellers were squatters. After 10 years, he wiped them out from the city center. Aside from housing, Robredo also focused on the youth. The Naga City Youth Officials Program, which integrates youth in government operations, is one of his most awarded projects. He also built Naga City Science High School during his term, which offers high-quality public education to the brightest Naga teens. Sponsored by the local government, aspiring doctors and engineers attend NCSHS for only 3,000 pesos a year.
Thank you po kay Sec Robredo kasi kung hindi po sa kanya, wala ang Naga City Science High School, and siguro po kahit po ngayon hindi ko alam kung saan akong school kung hindi dito kasi yung iba po sobrang mahal, sobrang layo, and parang nagpapasalamat po talaga ako sa kanya.
Robredo's family say the outpouring of prayer and support for him gives them strength. Thousands come to his wake to say goodbye and thank you. For Nagueños, the death of Robredo hurts, but as days go by, they smile more often. They are more willing to talk about their memories of him as they realize that having known him at all is enough reason to be grateful. Natasha Gutierrez, Rappler, Naga City.
Palace officials hold a tribute for the late Interior Secretary Jessie Robredo, a simple man who reminded them to connect with the poor they serve. In his eulogy, Energy Secretary Rene Almendra says he remembers Robredo for his brand of chinelas leadership. Chinelas are slippers, a poor man's footwear. Almendras recounts how Robredo wore chinelas at the NDRRMC headquarters to respond to flood reports.
Pare, ito ang tamang pambaha footwear. Karamihan sa mga kababayan nating nababaha, nakatsinelas.
Almendra says this shows Robredo's simplicity and accessibility to the people he serves. Cabinet members say Robredo is a tough act to follow. Budget Secretary Florencio Abad says the late secretary set an extraordinary standard in the manner he lived his life. Cabinet officials performed songs during their tribute, saying this is how Robredo would have liked to be honored. The widow of Captain Jesup Bahinting, the pilot of the ill-fated plane carrying late Interior Secretary Jesse Robredo, asks the public to allow them to mourn his passing in peace. Margarita Bahinting denies reports that her husband's license to fly commercial aircraft was expired. She says he renewed his license just last March. Mrs. Bahinting also denies rumors her husband allowed his Nepalese student, Shitish Chand, to command the plane when they crashed off Masbate on August 18. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines is reportedly investigating why Bahinting's body was found strapped to the right side of the cockpit. But Mrs. Bahinting says the plane was upside down when it was recovered from the sea, explaining why her husband was found at the right side instead of the left where the pilot sits. She also cites a photo taken at the airport tarmac showing Bahinting already in the captain's seat before the plane took off. Bahinting's body arrived in Cebu on Sunday. Interment is set Monday afternoon. In other news, President Benigno Aquino III challenges newly appointed Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno to restore the public's faith in the judiciary. In a speech to commemorate National Heroes Day, Aquino says the occasion is more meaningful because of Sereno's appointment as the first female Chief Justice. Aquino says Sereno's mandate is to ensure a fair justice system. He tells Sereno not to lose faith if she gets overwhelmed by the challenges ahead. He says you can expect that the Filipino people will be your ally. Aquino administered the oath on Sereno last Saturday. The palace announced Sereno's appointment on Friday, replacing former Chief Justice Renato Corona. Women's group Gabriela urges new Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno to prove she will promote women's welfare and that she will be independent. Gabriela Representative Luz Veminda Ilagan says Sereno's appointment may hinder the distribution of Hacienda Luisita land owned by the Cojuangcos and the Aquinos. Ilagan says Sereno makes history by being the first female Chief Justice, but says a woman-led Supreme Court does not necessarily translate to a pro-woman, pro-poor judiciary. Farmers groups criticized Sereno for her decision in the Hacienda Luisita case. Sereno did not oppose the distribution of the estate, but favored a compensation based on the 2006 valuation instead of the 1989 valuation. This would have resulted in a higher windfall for Aquino's relatives. Globe Telecom is reportedly eyeing media group ABS-CBN for a possible content partnership for the mobile firm subscribers. Globe President Ernest Cu says the company is exploring a deal similar to that being negotiated between rival Philippine long-distance telephone company and ABS-CBN's rival GMA Network. Cu says there are no definite deals yet, but the company is thinking of a partnership agreement for future plans to offer new age content to subscribers, referring to content accessed using mobile phones or tablets. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 4, after a U.S. jury orders South Korean company Samsung Electronics to pay $1.05 billion in damages to Apple over copied designs, its shares fall close to 7% in trading Monday. The jury ruled Friday that Samsung infringed on 6 Apple patents for smartphones or tablet PCs. Samsung says it would appeal the verdict. Samsung says if the ruling results in a U.S. sales ban on their products covered by the patent dispute, it would reduce their revenues in the last quarter of the year. At number 6, packing winds of up to 252 kilometers per hour, Typhoon Bolaven, Philippine codename Hulyan, one of the most powerful in decades, struck Okinawa on Sunday, August 26. Japan's meteorological agency warns it could bring record rain and wind to southern Japan in waves of up to 13 meters. The local media reports Bolaven is one of the strongest since the weather agency started tracking typhoons 60 years ago. And at number 7, the Republican National Convention is pushed back by one day as Tropical Storm Isaac battered southern Florida Sunday. The Republican Party announces it is postponing the start of its 4-day gathering in Tampa on Monday. After leaving 7 dead in Haiti, Isaac is expected to become a hurricane and make landfall on Wednesday on the southern U.S. coast. Former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney will be formally nominated as the Republican candidate who will run against President Barack Obama in the November 6 election. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Smart Gilas Pilipinas captures the gold medal in the 34th William Jones Cup. This is the Philippines' first title win in the tourney since 1998. Point guard L.A. Tenorio led Gilas come-from-behind victory, scoring 20 points in the game, including the winning basket. Coach Chot Reyes remains cautious. He says although they are happy with the victory, the team still has a long way to go. The man who said the immortal words, "One small step for a man, a giant step for mankind," when he set foot on the moon, is dead. Katie Suarez tells us about the legend Neil Armstrong, who lived a life of humility and service to mankind.
It's one small step for man.
His feat, arguably, is humanity's greatest achievement so far, and he had every right to brag about it. But Neil Armstrong, the first man to set foot on the moon, remained humble. His ego never left the earth. Neil Alden Armstrong, born August 5, 1930, was raised in Ohio. His love of flying was evident at an early age when, at 2 years old, his dad brought him to the Cleveland Air Races. At 16, he first got a pilot's license before he got a driver's license. He graduated with a degree in aerospace engineering from Purdue University in 1955. He became a naval aviator, served in the Korean War, and then joined the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, the precursor to NASA. At NASA, he became an engineer, then a test pilot, before becoming an astronaut, something he would not have become if not for a fan who slipped in his application a week before the deadline. Armstrong, along with Michael Collins and Buzz Aldrin, were selected to be part of the first ever manned lunar mission, Apollo 11. He made his historic first step on the moon on July 21, 1969, as millions watched back home. After that, he became a NASA administrator and a university professor. Despite the accolades and praise, Armstrong shied away from the spotlight. He even downplayed his pioneering effort.
I wasn't chosen to be first. I was just chosen to command that flight. Circumstance put me in that particular role. That wasn't planned by anyone.
He is, as his family said, a reluctant American hero who always believed he was just doing his job. He passed away Saturday, August 25, due to complications from a heart operation. He was 82. To honor his memory, the Armstrong family has a simple request. Honor his example of service, accomplishment, and modesty. And the next time you walk outside on a clear night and see the moon smiling down at you, think of Neil Armstrong and give him a wink. Katie Suarez, Rappler, Manila.
That's Rappler's Newscast for today, Monday, August 27, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter. I'm Chai Hofilenia. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.